What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Casey. And after a long delay, we are finally discussing the season 2 season finale of the Daryl Dixon show.
Yeah.
And it's been so long since we've gotten to Daryl Dixon that it is now 2025. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
So, first, let us apologize because we have some listeners who have been waiting for us to finish wrapping up this series. And the problem is, we have been having a hard time getting all three of us together to do it because of everyone's schedules. As most of you all know, Casey, she travels for work. So, there are times when she is in areas where she does not have the greatest internet service. And then Michelle and I both work in education, and then Michelle has a side business as well. So it's just been really rough trying to get all of us together at one time. So Michelle told us, she was like, look, go ahead, go on without me. So Michelle, hey, we miss you. But
Yes,
we're going to talk about this Daryl Dixon episode because I have had some stuff to say for quite a while now. But let's just start off with the basics. What did you think about the season 2 finale?
I liked it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I liked the way that it wrapped up a bunch of stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't leave loose ends like normally they would.
Mm-hmm.
Although we know there's the cliffhanger where they go next, but all of the other smaller threads have been clipped. And I like that.
Okay.
I like that now we're going into hopefully something fresh and new.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I like that all of the things that we had been introduced to throughout the season kind of got wrapped up.
Bye-bye, Sister Jacinta. Good riddance.
Finally. But she was going to die anyway because she got bit and she had the stuff in her face. Her demise was imminent.
Yes, I know.
But once she realized she lost, she took the easy way out.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been good to see her as a walker, though.
I don't need to see her as a walker. Her character irritated me. She irritated me so bad. And I was just like you're continuing on a mission for a guy who's dead now. Like Lo Sang is dead. Everybody that he brought with him to kind of try to force the issue of taking Laurent and doing this, they're all dead. So why are you still doing this?
And same could be said for Sabine after Madame Janae died. What you doing?
But you know
Take
what?
your people and do what you want. But searching down this little kid was not
the business. But I think
maybe her business.
Maybe now Sabine is probably like, okay, you know what? That's 3 leaders that I've had like in recent months. I think it's time to let this go. I mean, and Laurent is gone. What are they going to do? Follow him?
How?
Right. And that was the thing that kind of it irritated me at the beginning. And I will say this, I did like the episode. I do have one point of contention, and that's that in the press leading up to this current season and talking about the season, Norman was out there saying that this season episode was the best episode in Walking Dead history. And I'm so sorry, Norman. I have to disagree with you.
It was a good episode.
It was a good episode. Was not the best. And it was also not the most original. Because all the stuff that happened in the tunnels with the weird walkers and the hallucinations and stuff, I'm so sorry. Dead City did it first. Yeah. And they did it better because they had that big weird
walker,
octopus walker, whatever you want to call it, with the like 50 million arms, and they did it better. Okay. Yeah. It had some good emotional stuff in this episode. I will say that, especially in regards to Carol. And we'll get to that. But at the beginning of this episode, when Anne is driving through the city with, her people, and Jacinta's caravan stops her, and they're making all the different little threats about, trying to find Laurent and they were asking where they were. Well, we know they have a plane. And I think it was her. And she was like, well, they could have already left. And Sabine is like, well, we've been watching the skies and no one
Right.
has left. So even if they had left or if y'all had seen them in the sky, what were y'all going to do?
Right.
Because I
Because
don't
at
think,
that point, what if your whole mission is the boy?
right,
Because
if
he
he's
don't
already
have
up
him.
in the air, ain't too much you can do. So I understand you wanting to find him before that happens. But if, let's say, if y'all have been watching the skies for 2 days, all of a sudden you see a plane, you don't have any weaponry to shoot this plane down, because if you did, you probably would have brought it with you to the racetrack to destroy the plane before it gets off the air. I mean, before it gets off the ground.
Yeah, they did not.
So that was the thing. I was like, okay, so what's the whole point? Because if you guys had shot Anne, which she was like, y'all can kill me, y'all can not. I really don't care.
And wait, when she was said she was gonna shoot the friend, and the friend was like, and she was like, "That's why I don't have friends." She was
She was like, that's why I don't have friends.
like,
And the girl was looking at her like, ugh. But I mean, unfortunately, she has a point, because guess what? In this
yeah,
kind of world, your friends and your loved ones can be used against you. We have seen it time and time and time and time again.
yeah.
So I mean, think about it. That's how Quinn is dead, because Quinn had attachments he wouldn't let go of. So she learned a valuable lesson.
Yes, she did.
But her only thing was, okay, I'll help you guys because I want that plane and I want the pilot. I want to go home.
When she said, "I'll take the plane and the pilot," you think the pilot just gonna go where you tell him to go?
Well, I mean, if he has a gun on him, he probably will, because
I
I'm
don't see
sure
Ash doing that. Not this pilot. Not this pilot. Some
you
other
might be right.
pilot might. This pilot, and he already mad. He would probably be like, "I crashed this motherfucker first."
He is still
But
big mad,
big mad,
big mad.
big mad. So you just gonna take him and tell him where he gonna go?
Well, I
That
mean,
no,
okay,
that wasn't gonna happen. I don't care what they put to his head. He crashed the plane first.
but
He
you know what? He might have been like, you know what? I don't want to be around Carol because she lied to get me here. I don't know who this Daryl person is. She probably still hasn't told him what Daryl is and why she went looking for him. Although I'm sure he has his own probably guesses, but he'll probably be
mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, you want to go somewhere else? Yes, let's." Because I don't look. Thanks to Carol, I don't have a home to go back to. I don't have any reminders of my son to go back to now. So Ash might actually be open to another adventure. Oh, we're going to go somewhere else. Okay, cool. You just look, I'll fly you there. You take care of me. You look, you obviously have the means to do it because you are walking around in a world of the zombie apocalypse with some 4-inch stilettos on. Like, who does that? Who does that?
That part. Her.
I was looking at her like, so if a walker happens to come, which eventually it did happen for her, but I mean, I understand you can probably take the stilettos off, and maybe if you have enough strength in your upper body, you can probably get that through a walker's skull. But like, can we not be more practical? You can still be fashionable with tennis shoes on, boo.
But no, it's all about fashion, honey. Fashion.
Mm,
We're in Paris, the fashion capital of the world. Wow. I
mm.
have to be presentable for
And
my
trying
people.
to have that I guess trying to put on those airs and trying to put on that persona of her being in charge and her being whatever. Oh well, you dead now, so how did that work out for you? Which I felt a
That
little
whole
bad.
part.
I felt bad about it, but I would say this: she went out like a boss, because she
Yes, she did.
told Jacinta, she was like, Daryl Dixon's gonna kill you. Dixon's gonna kill
Yeah.
you. And she was like, no, he won't, because God is on our side. She was like, bitch, God abandoned us a long time ago. And when
Long
they
time ago.
started tearing into her, when they started biting into her, She didn't say a word. She didn't flinch. It's like she was waiting for
She
it to
said, I'm
happen.
not giving you the satisfaction.
Not only that, but she was probably like, oh, you know what? At this point, I am so glad to be done with all this shit. I think
Take
at
me
that
down.
point, she was just ready.
Yeah, I can see that. Because once they got to the
Right.
Hippodrome,
Uh-huh.
once they got there, she looked at that poster, and then remember when she had the flashback?
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't gonna hurt Laurent. She wasn't gonna let them get him.
Out.
That's why
No.
she was like, "Oh, y'all got to go through there."
Mm-hmm.
And just was like, "You first." But
Right.
I think at that point she had already resolved, "I'm not getting out of this."
Yeah.
But also, even though I ain't getting out of this, I'm not about to let y'all take him.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got to take a couple of y'all with me, let's go this way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, she could have gotten out if they hadn't locked her in that thing. And I still think she probably could have gotten away. I think if she really wanted to. She probably could have gotten the door open. She probably could have maneuvered her way around the walkers because even though the walkers are faster, you're talking about one person versus all these people over here, and all the people there, they're the ones that's shooting, they're the ones that's making the noise. I would think
Mm-hmm.
that that would attract them more than her
Mm-hmm.
kind of slipping away. But like I said, I think she was just done.
And she probably could have got out of there sooner when they first start the walkers first start coming from the darkness.
She
She
could have
went
kept
against the
going.
wall. She could
Yeah,
have went out the door. So she
she could
could
have
have
kept
made
going.
her escape. She
Mm-hmm.
could have, but didn't work out that way.
Yeah. And like you said, I think she was probably protecting Laurent because even if she
Hey.
had kept going, because that particular door was that was there was no door, there was just an entryway. She could have
Mm-hmm.
gone through there, but that would have definitely led them to Laurent and Daryl and all of
Mm-hmm.
them. And I think
Mm-hmm.
she was to the point where she was like, okay, no, I can't, I'm not gonna go that way. Because some of them could have gotten out alive, as we saw. They had a lot of soldiers with them. They had
Mm-hmm.
guns. So yeah, I think she made the sacrifice,
Yes.
you know, regardless of whether it was just because Laurent was a little boy, whether it was because that was Quinn's son, or whether it was because she actually believed that there might be something different or special about him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think too, I think a part of it was a big fuck you to Jacinta too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like you locking me in here means nothing, bitch, because you're not gonna live either. I'm telling you, you're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna live.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
fine. I ain't made it, but neither are you.
Right.
Yeah,
And that
definitely.
look,
I
Dixon didn't have to
definitely
kill her.
she took
That
herself.
walk, that
Well,
walker
I mean, essentially, yes.
bite. Mm-hmm.
So
Not
yeah,
only the walker bite, but when she shot him in the head, some of the
all that.
blood splattered, and he was one of those burners. So her face is being eaten out. So it's just, yeah.
Ugh.
You weren't long for this world. And I'm
And
actually surprised that she didn't turn as quickly as we've seen some of the others. I'm
what
really,
was in her arm?
yeah, but well,
Because the burn is fine. Because remember, Daryl got burned on his arm.
no, she got bit on the arm.
No, no, no.
The
Yes,
burn was in
no,
the face.
no. But I'm saying she got bit in the arm. So because even remember when Tyrese got bit, it took him a minute. Had they chopped the arm off, might have made it. But that arm, I mean, Tyrese ended up dying because he lost blood. But either way,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
got bit on the arm. So
Mm-hmm.
that does take a little longer if you on the arm or the leg. It's when you get that neck or the back or the shoulder, you kind
Yeah.
of.
But anyway, Ding Dong, the witch is dead. So hopefully Sabine can go and live her best life and be like, okay, I'm tired of following
I
crazy
hope
people
so.
around.
I
Let me
hope
just
so.
go live my best life and do whatever.
Because now you have a bunch of soldiers and a bunch of people at the nest now
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with no leader.
Right.
And you can tell they were being led.
Mm-hmm.
First with Losang, because some people didn't have no mind of their damn own. So now how so eventually somebody's gonna step up, into that void.
Mm-hmm.
But same way with no, because at least the military people got Sabine
Yeah.
as she is. But everyone in the nest, That's
And
gonna be over.
She might be like, okay, you know what? I'm done. Y'all go do whatever y'all want to do. I'm going to the nest and I'm going to go chill. I don't want to
Right.
lead nobody. I don't want to be in charge of nobody. I don't want to have a mission. I just want to take a break.
And that probably would be best for everybody.
Probably would.
Because essentially, by Laurent leaving, what is the threat in Paris? Because Janae is gone with all her experiments.
Yeah.
Sabine wasn't trying to take over the world. Miss Janae was. I mean, Madame Janae was. Sabine is one of those, lower level, I could care as long as I'm taken care of type people. So I don't see, there's no movement now.
No, especially after the movement that you've been following for so long, and then the second movement that you joined. Both, like I said, both of the leaders are dead. So obviously that tells me something that they were doing wasn't right.
Yeah, I may want to take a detour.
Yeah, look, the Demimon now needs a leader. It needs an owner. Hey, I'll go take ownership of the nightclub.
Okay.
And have access to clean living space and alcohol and dancers and drag queens and everything else my heart desires. Yeah, I think
sound like a good life to me.
Absolutely.
Sign me up.
So let's move away from them. Rest in peace, whatever. Let's talk about Daryl and Carol, because I don't know what made either one of them think that the other one was going to let the other one stay behind.
And it's funny how, depending on who they talked to, they knew, oh, you staying.
Oh,
like
yeah.
When Carol was talking to Ash, she was like, I'm staying. So when Laurent was talking to Daryl, he was like, you're not coming with us. So each of them thinking that the other is gonna stay,
and then it switched. Laurent is like, so do you think Daryl can get back to America all by himself? And Carol was like, what? And then Ash is like, oh, I guess it is a good thing you're coming with us. And Daryl's like, what?
Yeah.
I said, y'all knew. First of all, Carol is gonna be like, there is no way in hell that I came all the way over here to France, lied to this man to get him to bring me here to find you just to let you stay behind. There's no way that's gonna happen. And then Daryl is like, I need to get Laurent to the States. You have a better rapport with Ash, even though, yes, he's pissed off with you, but you know him better. You can help him. Like Ash said, she can help him with the plane. And I mean, honestly, for me, it also makes sense if Daryl was the one who stayed, if somebody had to stay behind, because Daryl has been in France for several months at this point. Like I said, we're not sure how long he's been there, but he's familiar enough with the streets and with the area. He's familiar enough with the politics, which now are pretty much done because all of the powerful leaders were dead. So he would have been the obvious choice to stay.
Yeah, absolutely.
But of course, nothing is going to be that easy. We should have known they weren't just going to get in the plane and fly away, because with all of that stuff coming down and Codron and Falou having to come warn them, we knew it was going to be a shootout. Now, this I will say about Codron, because I've been saying this as we've been discussing this series. I was like, I really hope that he turns to our side, because I like his character and I like his little humor, his little French humor. But also, how you gonna be fully able-bodied? It's two of y'all with machine guns, and you gonna let a one-eyed, one-armed, flying purple people eater shoot you and kill you? This man got an eye patch and his arm in a sling, and he's doing better than y'all. He's killing y'all. He done shot one man up in the stands.
Yeah.
He has a grenade that he took from one of the soldiers, and he done Like,
he MacGyver.
or something.
He is.
Rambo. No, he was Rambo. That's what I
He was
was
right.
thinking. He was Rambo. Then he started. I said, you know what? If nothing else told y'all that this was a lost cause, the fact that your men are being killed by a one-armed, one-eyed man, and y'all can't even get a shot off and hit
Not
either one
one.
of these three men.
And they only hide in the little horse stable thing.
Even before they were hiding in the horse stable thing, when they were out there by the plane, y'all got an open shot.
I don't
You
think they
ain't.
wanted to shoot the plane down. That was my thought. Because if they shoot at the plane, this is why I thought they didn't shoot at the plane. Laurent is in the plane. You trying to get him. So if you don't want to be shooting at the plane to have no stray bullet miss and hit him, because that's going to defeat your purpose. Once the plane is in the sky, you're not trying to shoot it down because you don't want the boy hurt. So your only plan would have been to try to get to him before you got to the plane.
But even when the plane pulls off, it's a minute before Daryl runs over to the horse thing and starts turning it. Well, then again, I guess by that point, the second person had been shot. So, okay, I get that. But it's...
Yeah, because I'm looking at the part now. So while they're in the thing shooting. Jacinta's at her door and they taxiing to get to the where they can take off.
Yeah.
So while it's sitting right here, because it's
okay. So here's the stupid thing about Jacinta and her people, because they didn't turn that the horse lanes to the point where a car couldn't have got through. But you're gonna send a motorcycle, one man in a motorcycle.
But no, the second one was the dune buggy.
Well, we didn't see the dune buggy until later. You sending the one guy in the motorcycle. You had all these Jeeps, all these other vehicles. Y'all could have had somebody keeping the three shooters distracted while another one of those vehicles went after the plane.
Well, we realized Jacinta ain't the smartest. Okay. I think we realized that. So she's not good on strategy.
I'm just...
You depended upon Anne to get you through, to get you even where you needed to go. You're not good on strategy, man.
And she was following Losang, but
yes, she's not good. She's a follower. She's a follower. She's not gonna have them grand ideas.
No, because if you remember when they were sending Daryl out to look for Falou and his people, she was the mastermind behind trying to set up getting Daryl killed behind Losang's back. She was the one who was she was his sidekick, but she was kind of sort of the person in charge and the person in charge in secret, because she had people doing her bidding behind Losang's back. So she ain't that stupid. I mean, maybe at this point, maybe the walker bite was starting to fog her brain or something, because there are other ways that you could have done this and gotten the result that you wanted, especially when the plane was sitting there forever. And I'm sitting there looking like, wow, y'all just sitting there. And it took me until my 6th or 7th rewatch, which was today, to realize that was when Carol got off the damn plane. I didn't realize that's when she got off the plane.
Okay, because that was my question. How the hell you jump out the plane and at the same spot as Daryl?
When she said, "Are we good?" And he was like, he turned around and looked at Ash and he was like, "Yeah, we're good," because he's thinking, okay, like Daryl said, you came here to save a kid, you can still save a kid. So I think when he looked at Ash and he thought about that, he was like, yeah, we're good. If you look at the sequences up until we see Carol on the ground shooting, every time that they show the motorcycle person coming after them, the dune buggy people, they're only showing Ash and Laurent. They are not showing Carol's side of the plane.
Got you.
So
Yes.
after they said, "Are we good?" Yeah, we're good. And the plane was still
This
sitting
is
there
her
because
getting out.
Daryl kept looking back like, "Why the fuck are y'all still sitting there?" That's when she got out the plane. Because I
Okay.
thought that too the first few times I watched. I was like, so what? Did she just jump out of the plane while the plane was gone? I mean, I realized he wasn't going that fast, but
That
still
was
for her
my
to
thought.
get off the plane with a gun to get into position and load up and be able to catch that that Jeep, catch the driver when Daryl's mag emptied. I was like, there's no way she could have done that. So yeah, I was literally looking at it today, and that's when it clicked for me. And I was like, oh, that's when she got off the plane. Okay, that makes
Because if you
sense.
look, okay. So at first, Daryl was at the green thing, and then when the motorcycle took off, he ran over to this field.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
yes. So then when the other two men come to the side, he shoot them two.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when he run out of bullets.
Yep.
Then because I could not figure out, like, if she jumped out the damn plane, how y'all parallel?
Right.
How are y'all in the same spot?
Right. And
That
I was
kept
like,
throwing me
she
off.
had to have ran, but I was like, wouldn't he have seen
You
her?
would have seen her.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's when she got out the plane. So I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Because when he was trying to shoot at them and his mag was empty and he got ready to shoot again, and all of a sudden you hear this other bullet. I was like, okay, Carolyn got him from somewhere. But I was thinking at first, I was like, okay, did she shoot him from the plane? Like, but again, once you go back and you watch it and you see they're only focusing on Ash and
Yeah.
Laurent. And then after they get in the air and they kind of pan over, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, so she got out the plane. And then the whole question of when.
Yeah, because she laying down and all ready to shoot.
She
So okay.
comfortable. So
She got
been there
comfortable.
a minute.
Oh, so she was probably she got out saying, like, if Daryl didn't make it, she would have been to make sure that they got okay.
Back up.
So that makes sense.
It's good because this is what Carol and Daryl do. So yes. I'm glad to see we're all on one accord. Yeah, because I think Daryl, once he heard the gunshot, he just kind of looked over. I think he was like, "This bitch, I knew she wasn't gonna stay on that.
She wasn't gonna leave me. She was not gonna leave me.
She was not gonna leave him. You saw the look on her face when she got ready to close that door. She looked like she was about to cry.
Yeah, she was not. I came all this way, sir.
Like, what we not gonna do?
What we not about to do?
Like,
I'm not about to leave you.
And not only that, you really think she's finna go back home and get cussed out by Judith? Like, excuse me, wasn't the whole point of you leaving was to go get him? Where is my uncle? Where is Daryl?
At least with Laurent showing up, they know he's still alive.
Right. So. And they know that Carol is alive. But then the question is going to be, the fuck they doing in France? And how are they going to get home? But I mean, it stands to reason. If you find a way there, you can find a way back. It's just going to take them a little bit longer.
A little bit longer
now. But okay, so let's talk about that a little bit longer. First of all, Falou found him a girlfriend.
Black man made it to the end.
I'm so happy because, that was one of the things I always worried about. I was like, if y'all kill Falou, I'm going to be mad because I love that character.
Yes, you were. You're very adamant about that.
Like, y'all going to make me mad. And then when we saw in the beginning with Aquila there with her, with him and Codron is even joking. He was like, love at first sight, huh? I was like, yeah, he about to have a girlfriend. And then I thought he was really going to leave. And then he was like, I got a reason to stay. And I was like, okay, good for you, sir. Good for you. He was like, what?
I love the good thing in that they ain't got nothing to fight. You ain't got nothing to fight. You could just live out your days at this point.
Go back to the nest and help rebuild that. Continue to help people. I mean, all of what Madame Janae was doing wasn't bad. She was helping people.
Yeah.
Now, she had a little bit of dictatorship going
thinking
on.
In it.
Yeah. But all of it wasn't bad. So they can go and kind of rebuild that and just be like, okay, hey, let's go ahead and just kind of help these people out, help other
Mm-hmm.
people out, help people stay safe,
Mm-hmm.
build a better Paris. And now he can go help Akilah find her sister if her sister is still alive. But yeah, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm so glad this man made it through
To
because
the
he
end.
deserved it.
He did. He really,
Now,
really did. He went through a lot.
these other folks that they don't introduce, these Scottish bastards. So again, rewatching it today after having not having watched it, for a few months, I was picking up on other things. So I thought that these were people that Falou had known for a long time, but no, he met them at the Demi-Monde.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay. And then listening to them talk about their experience, how, it had been a few years into the zombie apocalypse when they got married and they were like, yeah, we decided to come to Paris because we had heard about all this stuff and we just wanted to see what it's like. I'm still confused as to if they've been in Paris this whole time because I'm like, y'all are talking about taking them through these tunnels. Like y'all just came through the tunnels recently and y'all know, what's going on. Like, oh, it's
Right.
safe. This is what we need. We need provisions. Like, if y'all had recently come through there, I can get it. But if y'all been in Paris for 10, 15, however many years, how do you
Right.
know that the system is still the same? Because things
And
could have
and then
changed.
with the stuff that they was taking, because they was like, you need this at the checkpoint. What was that something else at the checkpoint?
So I think the provisions for the SharePoint were for the soldiers because as you saw when they went through the tunnel, those soldiers who were in the SharePoint, they were living in those tunnels. They had the tents and everything. So I guess that was just provisions for them to be like, hey, we got some goodies for y'all. Y'all let us pass. Kind of like paying a toll because
Yes.
they had the guns. They could have been like, no, you need to turn your ass around, go back to Paris. So I
Right.
guess that was just their way of guaranteeing that they would be able to come
Passage.
through. But let's talk about this tunnel because I'm pretty sure I mentioned it when we just had the regular conversation. I'm a huge fan of Stephen King's The Stand. And ever since I've read that book and seen that miniseries, and they had to go through the Lincoln Tunnel in the midst of dead bodies, I'm like, no. You see them stairs over on the side? I would have climbed up and I would have been walking over that tunnel. It might have been a longer way, but at least I can
You have
see what's going on.
you have to give me context. I have no clue what you're. I've never seen The Stand. So what happens in The Stand?
So, The Stand is a story about a virus that gets out and it basically wipes out 75% of the world's population.
Okay.
People just drop dead or they get
Oh,
sick and they die. So, it's
okay.
not zombies, but you got dead bodies all over. So, imagine New York City with a whole bunch of dead bodies just lying around rotting. So the Lincoln Tunnel is a tunnel that leads from New York to I think New Jersey. Okay?
Okay.
It's a tunnel. It's very dark. It may have lights, but in this particular sense because the infrastructure crashed, there's no electricity. So you're having to walk through this tunnel to try to get to New Jersey in the midst of cars with dead bodies. So think The Walking Dead and all of the roadways that have the dead bodies. And then, with The Walking Dead, when you start walking through, you know how the walkers get up and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Okay, no, this doesn't happen, but it's just dead bodies and it's rotting flesh. And you're in
Okay.
an enclosed space and you're talking
Oh.
for I don't even remember how long the Lincoln Tunnel. Hold on, let me see how long the Lincoln Tunnel is.
Okay, yeah, I've never seen that movie. Or is it a movie or
Okay,
is it a book?
yeah, it's like a mini series, but yeah. So imagine having to walk through a mile and a half of dead, rotting bodies. Cars crashed. You might have bodies of people who may have gotten out of their cars and then dropped dead where they were, and just Imagine that. And then, of course, it's Stephen King. So it has a little bit of a horror take on it. So there is a little bit of a supernatural element where you might be in this tunnel, you might start hallucinating things. Mm-mm. I don't do tunnels when it comes to zombies and apocalypses. And no, I think, like I
Hard
said,
pass.
if there was a staircase on the side, I would have been up that staircase and just walked over, and we would have just had to figure something out because there's no way I would have gone into that tunnel. Okay.
Yep.
And especially after seeing Dead City, as I mentioned earlier, and what they had to go through. No,
Yeah.
no, absolutely not. But the good thing about this tunnel is, at least for a while, there are no walkers.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing threatening them, but there are a lot of bats in the tunnel. And when you have a lot of bats, you get a lot of bat shit. And apparently, bat guano, which I had never heard that term before because I don't live in an area that has an abundance of bats. Apparently, it can have some hallucinogenic properties. And so Carol actually kicks a pile of this, and they, as they get further in the tunnel, they realize, oh wait, these soldiers are dead and they all killed each other. Now, first off, we talked about the fact that our experienced people seem to be forgetting Walker 101 when it comes to certain situations.
But guess who didn't this time?
No, no. Hold on. Before. As you're walking through, you realize there are no walkers. You realize everything is dusted over. There's a thick layer of dust everywhere. Y'all are not reading the tunnel. You're not reading the room. Something ain't right about this situation. As you approach the checkpoint, where you see, like, I think it was a tank, and you see somebody sitting on top with a gun. Nobody says halt. Nobody flashes a flashlight in your face. Nobody says, what are you guys doing? Who are you? Where are you trying to go? Nobody says a thing. And this doesn't trigger a for you.
Just say.
Then you walk past and you see that these soldiers are not only dead, but their skeletons have emaciated so much that you actually see the skeleton and not just rotting flesh. They've been dead for a minute.
Yeah.
And y'all
and that's also what made me wonder, when was the last time y'all was in this here checkpoint?
That part. So your people radar should have been going off way before it did. Yeah. Way before it did.
Yeah.
Y'all getting a little too comfortable and you're getting a little too sloppy.
They are.
Especially for Carol. But I will say this. Carol had some other things that she was dealing with. And then the bat guano, I guess, was starting to take effect, and they were starting to hallucinate. But when Daryl realized, when you walk into the camp and you realize, hey, they all killed each other. And the girl says it could be the bat guano because it has hallucinatory effects. That should have been your cue to turn around and walk the fuck back out the tunnel. Like, we will figure this out another way, but this is not good for us. Yeah. Then not only that, then you come across some glowing shit. All of your dead walkers, first of all, that's a lot of dead walkers, especially if they all killed each other. Yeah. Then they're glowing. What? I was like, you know what? I don't know what's about to happen, but it's not about to be good.
I didn't think it was going to be good, honestly, because once she kicked it up, and then they should kick up the dust, they get to the checkpoint where he actually did bang on the little fence. I'm saying, good job.
Yeah, he did that one thing and then fucked up on everything else. I'm just saying.
He brought back some of his original season 1 Walking Dead training to
Okay.
remember that. Although I will say they were, like you said, with the little glowy walkers, they moving kind of slow for me. Like, y'all know, once you see them jiggy, just trying to unstick themselves from the ground, why y'all wait till they get up? Like, y'all know better. You know better.
And like I said, I think probably at that time the bat guano started taking effect.
Yeah,
So that could be why they were slow on the uptake, because even in Dead City, when they were dealing with the hallucinatory effects of the gas, they weren't acting quite as quick, and we fussed about that as well. So I can kind of sort of see it here.
Okay.
But like I said, at this point, when you see what's in front of you versus what you just came from, turn your ass, especially if you know now that you could be feeling effects like Daryl.
But they're not gonna do that because no. Let me explain. They're not gonna do that because they are. The whole purpose is we're trying to get through. We already know what's back there.
No.
We already know. So if this is the way that's gonna get us to London, this is where we gotta go. Like, you already know. For Daryl and Carol, they know at the end of the day, we're trying to get home. And if we got to go through this tunnel of guano and glow in the dark walkers and hallucination, then what we're going to do to get where we're trying to go? Because we got to get home. We got Ash and Laurent up out of here. Now we got to make it. Now we got to get home.
There was more than one way to do this.
Apparently not in France.
They just wanted to
because this is a tunnel that nobody's been in for who knows God how long, from two weird ass people who showed up who probably should have been shot the first time they walked through them goddamn gates. But I digress. We listening to two people who ain't been. You met them in the house of ill repute. These people are gonna be on the up and up. I'm just saying.
Right.
What they are not. Remember, like, okay, in the original story, anybody they meet, we skeptical. Remember, they left the backpacker on the road. They didn't want to help him. Nobody. Maybe they should go back to the questions that they asked.
We said this. Yes.
Because y'all damn perception of people, y'all giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. In the beginning, Daryl with the girl and the old man. Like, even going back there, why are y'all not weary of people? Granted, it's been 12, 13 years since the apocalypse started, but people are still people. And y'all are just giving free will willy-nilly. Oh, here's my trust. Here's my trust. What? Trust nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even in the situation that we in now, I'm going to be skeptical of you taking me into a fucking tunnel. I'm gonna be skeptical of going into a old hospital with you. I'm gonna be skeptical of all of these things that y'all just. Oh, you want to go in this weird, scary hospital with me and look for me? Sure, let's go. What?
Yeah.
Y'all don't have the discernment that you had in the beginning, because what it is we've been at this so long. It's time that we getting lax on our practices and the things that we use to survive and get us to where we at.
Right.
Okay.
Here's the other thing. This is the thing that confused me. So Daryl, when they're going through the camp and he's looking and he's seeing the condition of everybody, like, oh, these people attack themselves. When he pulls up the blanket and he sees the two intact gas masks, why would you not pick those up instead of being like, oh, we gotta go? Obviously,
because he probably, more than anything, he still had clear mind. So of course he's not thinking. This is before all the hallucinogens kicked in.
Yes, but so obviously, if she mentioned it and you see that these people all killed each other, I would just think that you would be like, let's take these just in case. Because even if it was only two and it's 5 of them, they could have gave the mask to Carol and the girl, and the man could have just duked it out, toughed it out.
But no,
But why
people are
would you
suffering.
not pick up those masks and then you got to turn around and go back for them? And then you almost get killed because now there's only 2 masks and everybody else is scattered. Codron has lost his mind thinking you done killed his brother. And now he's going after a walker that he thinks is his brother. Carol's going after what she thinks is Sophia. So now you're left with the 2 people you know the least who have no loyalty to you.
None.
And whose loyalty are to each other. And they're like, oh, there's 3 of us here. There's only 2 gas masks. Guess what? Hate it for you, but I'm going to make sure my boo get out before I make sure you get out. I was just like...
That's where that lax attitude is going to get y'all fucked up. And
I need them to stop. I need them.
That's right there is where it's at. Right there. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna just let y'all do it. Because how you let this man hit you and knock you out, knock you onto the ground?
I mean, and again, I understand you're under effects of this stuff that's making you hallucinate, but your spidey senses should have been tingling the minute you enter that camp. You should have been like, nope, let's turn around. And I know, yes, the only way out is through. But given the situation and given where they are, and given that you are walking into a situation full of unknowns, you don't know who is still left in that tunnel. You don't know anything about these glow-in-the-dark walkers, except for, oh, you know, some plants and animals, they have their own bioluminescence. You don't know that that's what that is. Remember, you are in a country where they were experimenting on shit. You don't know what that stuff does.
Yeah.
But you're just going to be like, oh, everybody, come on, follow me single file. Don't make any noise when your every single step is making a noise.
That's where that relaxed ass, oh, I trust you and I just met you less than 24 hours ago. Yes, I'll follow you into the dark tunnel. Comes in.
Let me tell you this. For season 3, when they get to London, since it's just Daryl and Carol now, at least for right now that we know, because we don't know where the fuck Codron disappeared to after this. We don't know if he's alive, if he's dead, if he's still following the walker. We don't know what's going on. Daryl and Carol, I need y'all to get your shit together. I need y'all to go back to basics, because
101,
y'all gonna be stuck in Europe forever.
At this rate,
don't.
At this rate,
I need you to.
You're not gonna find another pilot, and you damn sure ain't gonna find another boat. Well, you have more likelihood of finding a boat than you do
than you would a plane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look, at this point, y'all better find a canoe and just row your ass back to America, because y'all need to go back to basics. And y'all are not. I don't know what it is about France. Maybe it's the weather, maybe it's the air, but y'all have not been doing what you're supposed to be doing since y'all got here.
At all. And y'all fucking up. I'm going to need them to get it together very quickly.
Right.
Because at this rate, y'all not even going to make it home. Mm-mm. Like, just the Walking Dead France edition. Like, at this, because y'all right. Not making smart decisions.
At all.
Not making smart, safe decisions. Mm-hmm. Y'all doing shit that's gonna have y'all in some more shit. Mm-hmm. You just got out of some shit.
Speaking of which,
no shit.
Speaking of which, let's just move that conversation on to Carol, because we got a lot to unpack here, and I really hate Michelle is not here about this, because she was the one that was having the biggest, Carol, you should be over this. We should not be still dealing with this. So we get a little bit more insight into Carol's frame of mind in this episode in regards to Sophia. And the big thing for her is she doesn't remember what Sophia looks like prior to her coming out the barn. And we have to think about this. If the timeline is right, it's been about, like we said, anywhere from 11 to 13 years. Mm-hmm. So Sophia has actually been dead longer than she was alive at this point. Mm-hmm. And that is something that Carol has been carrying And then, of course, now you're seeing all these reminders of Sophia. You know, you saw the girl at the nest that kind of had on the same type clothing as her. And just all of these different reminders that's bringing it all back up. And it really is because she's never really properly dealt with it. Like, I think she accepts what happened, but at the same time, I think there's still a little piece of her that's still holding on to Sophia as, or trying to hold on to her as somebody alive. And when you do that and you start thinking about the stuff that she went through and how she might have died and everything, all that's going to do is keep opening up that wound and keep opening up that guilt. Then, as a parent, for you to say, I don't remember her face anymore. All I remember is what came out of the barn. Like, I felt that. You're a mother, I'm a mother. I felt that. I understood that grief.
Absolutely.
And especially in this type of world, you don't have pictures, you don't have photographs, you don't have anything to remind you of her. There's no keepsakes, no mementos. You don't have a family home to go back to at this point. It's just, all you have is what's in your mind. And when you have gone through what Carol has gone through, the trauma, the having to kill people, the losing people, just all of this stuff, I can see where I kind of get her in a way that I didn't get her years before. Because at one point, especially when she went to the kingdom and she was like, I'm done, I'm not killing, I'm just gonna go live in this house and be by myself and read romance novels. I was at that point in the show, I was like, Carol just needs to die. We don't have time for this. And then, you know, as the years kind of went by, I was like, okay, that's the wrong attitude to have, because you want people to hold on to some of their humanity. Yes. Even in this type of world. And that's what Carol was fighting to do. And at the time, I was just looking at it like, look, it's fight or die. And no, you do have to hold on to a little bit of who you are. And so I understand her a little bit more with this. And then for her to have the hallucinations that she had, she thought she saw Sophia walking into the service tunnel. So then she gets into the service tunnel. She still thinks she sees Sophia. And then she sees a Walker version of herself. I'm going to tell you, when I saw that Walker version of herself, I really thought Carol was about to die. I thought that was her accepting her fate, and she was going to be like, okay, you know what? I'm done. I was like, if y'all gave us this fucking season just to kill her off.
Oh, that would have been shit.
And then when she kind of cleared up and the little girl came to her, and she, you know, the little girl who was supposed to be Sophia came to her and kind of, you know, hugged her. I really thought, I said, okay, she's embracing a Walker right now. She's about to get bit. Because I thought it was kind of sort of like what Tyrese was going through before he died, because, you know, he was having all of these different visions and seeing things and hearing things that weren't really there. And then all of a sudden, you're getting bit by, you know, Noah's little brother. I really thought that's what was about to happen to Carol. I was like, she thinks she sees Sophia. Sophia's giving her a hug. She feels like, oh, my life is complete. I've seen my little girl again, and she's going to die. I really thought that's how this was about to end.
I did at first too, but then I was like, once you realize everybody else, what made me realize that she wasn't going to die is because they were paralleling Daryl seeing Isabel with Carol seeing Sophia. So to me, it was like, for both of those people, they had goodbyes that they needed to resolve. And for me, that hallucination, that dream world for them, cleared their mind of what they needed to do in order to move from this place to go to the next place. So that was like one of my things with them clearing up, you know, storylines and, you know, getting finality on some things, like Daryl finally dealing with Isabel and letting her go. Carol finally dealing with Sophia and really letting her go. You know, letting her go in the sense of, you know, I can go in a barn without, you know, having hallucinations. And like thing with Daryl and Isabel, her telling him, you're not gonna die here like your granddad did, get up. So
Yeah.
we have to move from this space. That's what I got from both of those, because they were parallel in their realizations and in
Yeah.
their closures.
Yeah, I got that too once they did start going back and forth, back and forth. But at the beginning, when it was just Carol, I was like, well, it's been a nice run. I didn't think it was going to happen like this, but I'm glad that she was able to see what she needed to see to get out of that. So hopefully this will no longer be an issue for her. Like she can finally let Sophia rest in peace. And she can kind of forgive herself for, because I think a lot of it too is survivor's guilt. She's like, okay, my little girl is gone, but I'm still here. Like, even after everything, I'm still here. Like, after all the times I've given up, I'm still here. After the time I almost walked my ass off the cliff, I'm still here. So I know there's a little bit of that survivor's guilt. So hopefully now she can be at peace with that and can let that go. And then,
but I also think she needed to let that one go in order to let all the subsequent ones go, because Sophia was the first, and then you have Henry, and you have
Lizzie and Mika.
Lizzie and Mika. Yeah. So Sophia was the original wound for that.
Yeah.
So that's closed now. Although, I mean, not saying they hurt any less or anything like that,
right?
But closing that wound, we can now grow from that and move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not saying that you just move on from a child's death. That's not
no, but I mean, like kind of like Michelle said, it's been move on. Yeah. And then also I think, I think a lot of times when we think about characters in fictional worlds, and especially in apocalypses, we try to apply reason and logic and emotion for our current day and age to that kind of situation. And I just feel like, yeah, as a parent, it's going to hurt you if your child dies. But also I feel like in that type of world, you kind of have to, I think, deal with it differently, because it's not like, oh, your child just unexpectedly died. Like literally every second that you live in this type of world, anybody can die. Right. And I think at some point you have to get to a point where you have to let it go, because other than that, that can kind of keep you from doing what you need in order to keep yourself, to keep other people safe. Like there's nothing she can do for Sophia now. Sophia is done, gone. All she can do is take the mistakes that were made in that situation, or maybe not even mistakes, because who can say? Nobody knows what happened to Sophia for her to get where she was. Because technically speaking, if she had hid in that little cove that Rick put her in, if she had gotten into the corner and just kind of stayed there, if a walker had gone past, I think it would have gone past her, because one, she wasn't bleeding, so it's not like it would have smelled her blood. She was in a swamp, so it could have covered her scent enough. If she had just been quiet, maybe not panicked, then she could have been okay. If she had stayed there until Rick came back, she might have still been alive. Now, whether a walker found her first, whether she panicked and ran, we will never know. So we don't know if there were mistakes made or not. But at this point, all you can do is take whatever lessons you can from that situation and move forward with your life. And I'm hoping that now she can do that. Now that she has,
I think she can.
She has that now that she has, especially now that she has remembered Sophia's face. She's seen it now. And I think even though they got a different actress to play, I think they did a really good job.
Yeah, they did.
So, yeah, I just now I need you, since you've had this and you have this closure now, I need you to pack this up and put it away. And I need you to go back to being Terminus Carol. I need you to go back to having your wits about you and questioning shit and not trusting people, and do what you need to do to get the fuck home.
That part. I agree.
And the same with Daryl. I know that Daryl has some guilt. I know he felt bad, like especially at the beginning of the episode, that little that little scene with him and Laurent playing with the out-of-tune guitar and singing the song. I think that was really sweet because you don't really see Daryl break down like that very often.
Right.
And he's looking at this little kid, knowing he's about to be separated from him, knowing that there's a possibility he may not see him again. And I think he feels a little bit of guilt about that too, because like Laurent said, everybody that he cares about has pretty much died. And I think Daryl feels some guilt about that, but I also think he was feeling some sadness because he was like, okay, I'm about to send y'all home and I still can't get there. I'm still not going. Right. And that's all I've been trying to do for months. And so now, okay.
But I think the resolve that Laurent is going to be okay is the resolve that he had in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you okay, I'm be all right. I'm going to be okay no matter what. As long as I get you to a safe place and make sure, these people don't kill you, I'm good. Because, right. Daryl love the kids.
He does.
Daryl love the kids.
And that was the thing when he was having a conversation with Ash, and Ash asked him if he had kids, and he was like, no. He said, maybe it's good, blah, blah, blah. And, because you don't have anything to worry about. And Daryl was like, I worry plenty. Like, you should have been like, I don't have my own children, but I do have children that I care for. But that's the other thing. Okay, so another part of the episode that I really, really loved, because I also said, I think a couple of episodes ago that I really wanted this, he and Codron actually have the conversation
about his brother.
And Codron mentions his brother. And when he said his brother's name, Michelle, Daryl looked at him like, I know that name. And then so when he says, you never really told me how it happened when you killed Michelle, and Daryl was like, I didn't kill him. He said, what do you mean? He said, no, the girl beat me to it. Codron's face was like, what girl? I know you're not talking about the girl that I left sitting on the side of the street alive.
And let go.
Right, and let go. And Daryl was like, yeah, skinny little girl on the road. She was with an old man who tricked me into thinking he was blind. And Codron was like, hold up. She told me you killed him. And Daryl was like, what did you expect her to tell you? And then you had this realization for Codron, and I was like, ooh, when he finally gets a chance to like really sit down and think about this, it's going to hit him hard. Because he said, so you mean that everything that I have done since Marseille, the Abbey, the Nest, everything that I have done was because of a lie she told me? And I said, yeah, bro, you got some reckoning to do because you went in there and killed nuns.
Yes.
Over a lie.
Over a lie.
And I mean, even if it wasn't a lie, you went in and you killed nuns. You could have went in there, if you had to get violent, you could have beat them up a little bit, tried to get some information out of them, and you could have left them on their way so that they can heal and recover. But no, y'all literally machine gunned down some nuns. Just for you to find out that the person you have been hell-bent on killing this whole time didn't actually kill your brother.
Didn't even do it.
Now, the thing about that conversation that I wish they could have added a little more nuance to it, and I think it would have also helped them bond a little bit more, was when he talked about how protective he was of his brother and how hard it was to see him like that and having to put it into him. He said, it's almost like you lose a piece of yourself. And Daryl's response was, I can imagine. No shit, Sherlock. You had to do the same thing to your brother.
I can't imagine. You know exactly what he did.
And so I wish that could have been added to the conversation, because I think that would have been a little bit more like Daryl could have told him, I would not do that to somebody else because I've had to live through that. I had to do that to my.
I had to do that. Yes.
I would have liked that, but I guess it works for what they are, because it's not like we're looking for them to become best friends. Right. Codron was just basically like, okay, I'm still going to help you guys, but I need to know what happened between you and my brother. And for him to hear that truth, I know that was what he needed. But, we could have added a little bit more into that, especially since Daryl doesn't really get to talk about Merle very often.
Right.
But also, too, I thought it was kind of poetic that Codron said something about that. He was like, when you have to do something like that, it's like you're killing a piece of yourself or you're losing a piece of yourself. And if you think about it, when Daryl had to do that to Merle, he lost that last little tie of his old self and who he was in the old world. And that's when he fully became a part of the group. Like,
yes.
ride or die, I'm with y'all all the way.
Yeah, so, but he ain't had nobody else. He had to. I mean, he didn't have to, but at that point, who was left? Everybody he loved was gone.
Yeah,
his brother was the only thing he had, even though his brother was a racist asshole. He, my brother.
Yeah, yeah.
Because even when he left Merle in the forest and went to go back to the group, that's still his brother.
Yeah,
he had to tell him a little bit about himself, but that's still his brother. He still loved his brother.
Yeah, yeah. So that would have been a nice touch, but yeah. Overall, like I said, I did like the episode. There are just things about the characters that are starting to irk me because I feel like there's certain things they're doing that are not characteristic of them. And when we go into season 3, going into London, which is where supposedly is better in England, but again, the two I can't even remember Fiona and Angus, I think that were their names. They were talking about how things were so much better in London because, the police there got hold of everything quick. They shut everything down quick. But how long have you been in Paris? How do you know it's still the same?
Especially
it very well could be. It very well could be.
But the tunnel was a sign that y'all don't know. The tunnel was a sign that they don't know.
You don't.
Because they've been there in that tunnel for a little minute. It's been a little minute.
Just a little bit. Yes.
A minute. You know. So I wouldn't take faith in what the hell they said. No.
Yeah. But also, like, if you think about it, we don't know how much communication there has been between the states and other countries since this has fallen, because a lot of the communications have been two-way radios, which those are not very long range. The Commonwealth, the CRM may have been in touch with other countries, and I'm sure the people who were coming for Madame Janae's group when they were coming over to the port, I'm sure they had some kind of communication. But other than that, we don't know what's going on in anywhere of the rest of the world. So London could be thriving right now. They could have just cut themselves off from everyone and been like, fuck y'all, we're safe, we're good. And once they figured out what was going on with the rest of the world, they probably, do the same thing that our group does. When someone dies, you stake them in the head, you burn the bodies or you bury them or whatever. They're probably doing that. They could be. Or they could be walking into a total wasteland. We just don't know. But at least Daryl and Carol are together, the dynamic duo. So I have a feeling they can handle whatever is coming their way. But like I said,
only if they remain
they gotta
practical.
go back to basics. Yeah, they got to go back to basics. They got to go back to basics. And I understand in this type of world, especially this many years in, yes, you do need to have allies. You do need to build trust with people. You do need to build community, especially for people like them who are so far away from anything and everything that they know. But I just need you to be a little more cautious now.
And that's even goes so back as far as to when they were in Greenland, Iceland, wherever.
Greenland, yes.
When they were in Greenland, Carol just, because remember, look at Carol entering Alexandria. And then look at Carol here. We're like, is you the same girl? Like, where's that chameleon that we're so used to?
Right.
Because you're just so trusting.
Like, you let a stranger.
She played a chameleon pretty good, trying to infiltrate, Madame Janae's, that whole situation. But you can, ma'am.
But you had to go through
what
that.
You know.
Yeah. Like, you let this virtual stranger get hold of the crossbow and then point it at your ass. Huh? So yeah, let's not do that anymore.
At
Let's not
all.
do that anymore.
Like y'all making stupid mistakes. Y'all making first season mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a
We
good
17
episode.
seasons deep.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was a good
But yes,
episode.
very good
Had
episode.
lots of emotional moments. Had
Mhm.
some very well-deserved deaths. And Laurent got away, which is a good thing. So I don't know if we're going to see Laurent next season unless I don't think they have been renewed for season 4 yet. So
Okay.
maybe season 3 will be the end and we can see Daryl and Laurent reunite at the end of that.
Daryl and Rick.
I know. That goes without saying. That goes without saying.
I'm saying it though.
Here's
I'm
my
saying
question now. So, what is season 3 going to be called? Because season 1 was Daryl Dixon, season 2 was the Book of Carol. Okay, we don't need a Book of Carol for the 3rd season because they're both
it's
together.
gonna be
So
Daryl Dixon. Let's
going
see what's a good
home,
name.
I don't know.
Nah, it got to be something. Ooh, Daryl Dixon, the returning home.
Oh, okay, okay,
Mhm.
okay. I can
Or
see that.
or it could be Daryl Dixon, Carol and Dale, besties forever.
You know, no, because
Besties for life.
they already have a long ass title like The Walking Dead, colon, Daryl Dixon, colon, The Book of Carol. Like, really? Really? Can we condense this? Can we?
It's gonna be the book of going home.
That's what I said. Going home. Daryl Dixon going home. Daryl Dixon, the homecoming,
Homecoming.
whatever. The reunion,
Homecoming.
whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
homecoming.
I just
I
need
like
y'all to go home at this point. So, do we have anything else to say about this episode? This is it for season 2. We got season 3 coming, which I think I'm hoping it'll come around fall because the Daryl Dixon show has been good about turning around and getting us the next season because it was only literally um literally the first season was released fall of 2023, second season was released fall of 2024. So I'm hoping that means that we'll get the third season fall of this year because they were already filming season 3 while season 2 was on the air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they were filming in Madrid.
Okay. And then
So
we got to figure out how you get them from London to Spain.
well, I don't know if they're actually going to Spain or if they just used Spain as
Spain as the backdrop.
as the location. But they could be filming in Spain and saying that it's London. I mean, it wouldn't be unheard of.
That's true.
How many places actually originated here in Atlanta with our film industry? So yeah.
Say less.
Yeah.
Say absolutely less. You're right.
So
absolutely.
it could be. But you have anything final to say about this episode?
Nope. I'm glad they wrapped up all the little stories. We don't have no loose ends.
Yeah.
We don't have none of that. We they left everybody in a good place where we're not gonna be questioning what happened after.
Yeah, because Sabine ain't coming after them in France, in England. She's done. Falou has no reason. Falou might come and visit them. You know, maybe him and Akila will find her sister, and then they'll be like, "Oh, let's go to England." So okay.
Or maybe Daryl and Carol will find her sister and be like, "Oh, we met your sister."
Yeah, let's go back to France. No, let's not go back to France.
No, they're not gonna go back to France.
Yeah, we need to find a pigeon and get a message that to your sister that you are alive. Okay. So that's it for Daryl Dixon. We have Dead City coming up supposedly sometime this spring. We've seen a couple of trailers. It looks interesting enough. I'm gonna reserve my comments and my thoughts because we were a little disappointed in the first season and how they kind of took Maggie's character and basically what the storyline was. So we're gonna see what it's like. We're gonna hold off judgment and we're gonna go in with an open mind because this is still The Walking Dead. These are still characters we love. We just need our characters to get back to the people that they are.
Swear to
and do
God.
the shit that they supposed to be doing.
Swear to God.
So on that note, that is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social media at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.